Welcome back. It's Medical Monday with our hospital experts at East Cooper Medical Center. And today we welcome Dr. Heather Cook. She's a reproductive endocrinologist at Coastal Fertility Specialist. And Dr. Cook joins us today to talk about something which affects 1 in 8 couples of childbearing age, and that's infertility. And you know, it can be emotionally devastating, but there is good news. There is help available. So we're so pleased to have you here today.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
Yeah, let's just start with the basics. You know, people are trying to have a child. You know, what technically defines infertility? At what points can you say that?
So we technically define infertility when a couple has been trying for a year or more without success, but by no means does that mean you have to wait a year before coming in for evaluation. In specific women or specific couples who actually may have some risk factors for reproductive issues, we do recommend an evaluation usually after about 6 months, and that can be anyone from having irregular menstrual cycles or history of any fallopian tube disease, or any men who may have concern for sperm issues. We would recommend an evaluation after about 6 months of trying in those women.
Okay, so you try 6 months, it isn't, you know, something's not happening. And, you know, we were saying during the commercial break, it's very hard, obviously, and very sensitive for a lot of people just to make that first consult. But you guys make it so easy.
Yeah, I think, you know, the first step really is making that appointment and getting more information. I truly think in most things, information is power. And if you're really struggling to conceive, getting that negative pregnancy test every month, you kind of start to lose some of that control, and you know, you start to lose a little bit of hope. So just coming in and finding out what the issues may be, because most of the time they're very simple issues, and it doesn't require a lot of elaborate fertility treatment, just to give you a little extra boost to get you the baby that you're hoping for.
Yeah, and as women, I think a lot of times, you know, we think, oh, there's something wrong with me, but that's not always true. I was surprised at the numbers here, and you can go into more detail, but a lot of times it can be the man's fault. You know, I say fault loosely, but it can be an easy fix as well.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, most women who are seeing their OBGYNs think that it's them and that they need to do their evaluation, maybe would bring their partner in when the time is right. But that's really not the case. In about 40% of our couples, we know that there's some factor of male, you know, male factor infertility, if not sole male factor infertility. So really the recommendation is a couple to come together for that initial, you know, visit, get a history from both the partners and do an initial evaluation on both the partners.
Yeah, and it makes, if you're a little nervous or uneasy, I'm sure it makes it easier to have both of you there.
It definitely does.
So are there things that we can do, you know, to naturally improve our chances of getting pregnant?
So this kind of goes along with just living a healthy lifestyle. So healthy diet, exercise, you know, abstaining from certain things or using things in moderation, such as caffeine, alcohol,
That's true.
cigarettes. And I think really importantly, kind of optimizing any underlying medical issues you may be dealing with, like high blood pressure, diabetes, things like that prior to becoming pregnant.
Okay. So let's say we wait 6 months or a year even, go see you. What are the most common treatments once you do the analysis and figure out, you know, what can be fixed?
Yeah, so interestingly, everybody thinks the most common treatment is in vitro fertilization, and I think that's because it's one of our fancier treatments that kind of gets a lot of hype, but that's not really the case. Probably most of our couples, about 60 to 70%, will be able to get pregnant with much simpler forms of treatment, and that can be anything from simple, you know, pills or fertility medications.
And we have them up there on the screen.
Oh,
there's a lot of different options.
Right, you know, simple medications to help women ovulate, or if there's a mild male factor, we can just do a special sperm wash and place the sperm. So we have a lot of simple things we can start with.
Yeah, so there are a lot of options. And another thing, you know, a lot of people maybe get pregnant right away. They have that first child, and then they go for the second, and it just doesn't happen easily. Is that common?
Yeah, it's very common. And another misconception is that once you've had a child, you're always going to be fertile, but that's not the case. We know that women's fertility really can change throughout their life for one reason or another. So we still would recommend kind of the same workup to identify any factors that have changed from that first child.
And you guys have an event coming up. Tell me quickly about that.
We do. We have an event with East Cooper Medical Center that's on Thursday at the hospital from 5:30 to 8. So anyone's welcome to stop by and get some more information. You can also visit our website at coastalfertilityspecialist.com or find us on Facebook.
Okay, Dr. Cook, such a pleasure to have you here, and hopefully you answered some questions and some people can stop by on Thursday. And again, you can RSVP at 881-7031, but don't go anywhere. We've got much more coming up right here on Low Country Live.